Norman Kinsey, Real Estate versus Technology, with another episode for you. We've got our co-host, Mr. Dan Gandy. Welcome, Dan.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Of course. And today we have a powerhouse. Today we have an individual who's ahead of some technology. He's taking the best practices and techniques from the experts out there, and I'm sure he'll give you the rundown on that. Today we have the one, the only. Ulysses on the show. Welcome to Real Estate versus Technology, sir.
Hey, how we doing, Norman? Hey, how we doing, Dan? Ulysses here. Thank you guys so much for having me. Super excited.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course. I got to say, we got to do a little bit of screening before and get to know each other. You have the craziest energy. So this is going to be a powerhouse episode for everyone watching. I love it. So it's all going to be about you and your business. Traditionally, we have a lot of real estate professionals on the show. They share their story. We would love to understand your story leading up to the technology, the offering, the support that you do out there for these agents. Really excited to hear that. And we want our viewers and guests to get all this information from you so they can better be able to understand how to get a hold of you, what tools you're using, so they can have more success. So first and foremost, how long have you been in the business and how long have you worked at your company, and what is the name of your company?
Okay, so a little bit about me, Ulysses Baltazar. I'm the owner of Sacramento Homes and Lifestyle, powered by Keller Williams. And so I've actually been the owner of that team for about 5 years now. And then a year before that, I was fresh into real estate. So I've actually only been in the real estate game for 6 years total. And also Legendary Virtual Studios happens to be my other company, which I'll talk to you guys about here in a second. But yeah, overall, I've been in the game for about 6 years now.
Wow, that's fantastic. So give us a little context as far as how do you balance your schedule in between the two businesses that you have, and what specifically do you do? Like, what does your day look like?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's actually a great question. So as far as how I balance both of them, they actually are intertwined with one another because one really supports the other, and same likewise with the other one. So with Legendary Virtual Studios, what we focus on, what we specialize in is 3D and 360 virtual and augmented experiences, AKA, for some of you guys already know, 3D virtual tours, which became extremely popular in 2020 due to COVID. You know, open houses could not happen. And so I've had this vision already in my mind before I launched Legendary Virtual Studios about starting a company that was going to start, being an agent service company, providing cutting edge services of where virtual reality and augmented reality is really taking the real estate industry into. And 3D virtual tours just happens to be one of those. And the way that it intertwines with Sacramento Homes and Lifestyle, no brainer. Everybody probably has heard, how real estate teams work and all that other fun jazz. I quickly realized that, my strength being in the real estate industry, which is what got me to where I am today, is being a coach, trainer, and educator. My background before I got into real estate, I'm an aerospace engineer, biomedical engineer. I was in the military. I flew drones for some time and wanted to pursue that as a civilian contractor. And then it just became me chasing contract after contract after contract, which was really difficult at the time. And so I decided, like, what am I trying to go after here? And it was create wealth, create a legacy for my family. And so when I got into, when things kind of started to shift in my mind of like, I got to make a shift in my life. I just I just got laid off of this last contract. Right. And that was just technically what was going on in 2015, budget cuts throughout the Department of Defense, all that type of stuff. My dad, once upon a time, wanted me to be a real estate agent when I was in high school. And this was 2005, when the market was hot back in 2005, before the big crash. And so I went back to my dad and asked him, like, hey, Dad, I'm just curious. I've been searching, trying to see where I'm going to take, everything I've been doing. I joined the military when I was 18. All I've ever known has been technical, flying drones. I was a musician for 15 years. I was a DJ. I got to perform a lot of music festivals. So if you're into EDM, that was my jam. Produced a bunch of different songs under the name Odysseus. That was my artist name. And so once I asked my dad, why did you want me to be in real estate? And he told me straight up, it's like, you got the gift of gab, man. And I'm like, what? And it's like, you got the gift gift of gab. And I'm like, I didn't even know what that meant, straight up. Like, no one ever talked to me about the gift of gab or whatever growing up. Never heard it. I'm Mexican, so it's not something that like Hispanics talk about in a traditional sense. And so once I looked that up, I started to realize that, wow, my ability to be able to speak to people and be a public speaker and my energy, all thanks to being a DJ and performing in front of people, was a skill set that I just did not realize I had. And so when I started to look into real estate, I tied that with my technological background and basically the fact that real estate is the #1 industry to create wealth. And that was really my big aha, was like, oh, you know what? Let's start, instead of working harder, let's work smarter. And I'm like, what industry will help me create the wealth and legacy that I truly want to build for my life, for my family, my kids, my wife, all that fun jazz. And the real estate industry happened to be that. And once I got in, about 6 months into it, I had someone come up to me and tap me in the shoulder, and they were like, Yuli, how in the world did you just do that Facebook ad? And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, I just saw that Facebook ad you just did. You've been in, how long have you been licensed? I'm like, I've only been in the game for about 6 months. And then they were like, but how'd you do that? Like, how'd you learn how to do this? Like, I've known how to do this. I've known how to do this from when I used to have to advertise my own tracks, my music, and all of that. And fast forward, next thing you know, can you teach that to the whole office? Yeah, sure, I'll do a class on this. And then next thing you know, another office was like, Yuli, that was a fascinating class I saw that I walked into. Can you come and teach that to our office? And next thing you know, that's how I got to where I am today. Was, wow, I don't like selling real estate. I like coaching and training real estate professionals better, because I'm really good naturally at these things that I never realized that real estate agents didn't know. I personally thought that, yo, you're an independent contractor. You should know this. You should know how to do advertising and marketing and all that, because what do they tell you right at the beginning? When you first become an agent, you're going to be wearing what? Like 10, 15 different hats. You're going to be an admin. You're going to be a marketer. You're going to be a cold caller. You're going to be all these different things. And those things didn't sound exciting to me. So I played it to my strength. I'm like, let me get in front of people the way I know how. And social media became my strength. And that's ultimately what I realized, about a year in, once I started teaching enough of these classes, that holy crap, a lot of the real estate industry professionals, including top high level individuals, are not aware or don't know how to do these things. And I started to see a pattern where a lot of these agents started to feel like they were being pushed out of the industry because of, once again, lack of education. They just did not know. You don't know what you don't know, right? And I don't know, something clicked. And then it just became like, I think my purpose in life is to do this, because every time I get in front of someone, I get 2 to 3 people, or sometimes even just one person, that comes up to me and says, this just changed my business. I didn't know this. And that was, no lie, look, I got goosebumps right now. That is what motivates me and keeps me going forward. And because of that, now it made me think even bigger. How can I continue to teach these agents, this industry, about where we really need to focus our time and energy as far as education goes, because of where the real estate industry is going. And it's not even that the real estate industry themselves is doing, it's what the consumers are starting to do, which will ultimately dictate where economic science is going to invest money into, right? Mm-hmm. And I see that in my kids. I see that in my cousins that are younger than me. They're Generation Z, and my kids being Generation Alpha. I see what they're doing, and I see where money is being dumped into. And it's like, you are the decision makers of the future. That means that you are setting a bar of what you will not expect less than, when it comes to now doing what you're going to do going forward in regards to how the consumer market is going to purchase, more importantly, in real estate. And what have we been talking about in these past 5 years? Blockchain, right? Title companies using blockchain for smart contracts, all of that. And all of that is becoming part of this infrastructure of also where marketing, advertising, personal data, information, and everything is pretty much jumping on. And eventually all these tools are going to come out that is going to transform the way that we do business. And one of those tools right now is virtual reality, 3D virtual tours. Even though we're experiencing virtual tours through our phone, the technology is technically set for when we throw on the headset, and now we're experiencing that exact same virtual tour, but in a more immersed experience, right? And thanks to this technology right now, we can sell our Sacramento properties to people in Dubai, people in Europe, and all of that. And they can walk through the house as if they were here and have a better sense of what they're buying and all that other fun jazz. So a little, that just goes to tell you a little bit about what we're doing, what I'm up to, how I got to where I am today, and where I see things going.
I love that. I love how you found a market that you didn't even know that was still underutilized or under supported, should I say, that you're like, okay, there's an opportunity here. Let me go ahead and see what I could do to serve this market. And now you're doing a good job being able to do that. And it's so true. Agents out there, listen up. If you look at your children, look what they're doing. If you're not taking notes, they're the ones that are dictating the outcome of the future. We've had clients on the Liftoff agent side that sponsors the show come to us, say, hey, my clients are saying that this should be on a Facebook ad. Can you help me with that? Like, there's a telltale sign that, your clients are already setting that tone, especially like, hey, agents, what do you look like when someone Google search you? All those things. That's so awesome, man. Congratulations to you on that. So we know you're located in the Sacramento area of California. I already kind of have taken this. I already know kind of what the best part about working for your company is, but what's the best part about working for your company? What like the setup satisfying for you? Like,
well, there's two things. First, and one thing, if you're an agent of Sacramento Homes and Lifestyle, we're constantly always working with the cutting edge, always looking at what are the best ways to create these engaging experiences with our buyers, sellers, and investors. Whether it's finding them or connecting with them or whatever the case might be, we're always constantly trying to think about what that the next cutting edge tools that's going to help us create those relationships better, maintain those relationships better, with automated follow-up systems and all that other fun jazz. And now with virtual reality, being able to interact with our buyers, sellers, and investors in virtual reality as well, which is really, really cool and awesome. Whether they have a VR headset or not, they can interact with us in VR using their phone or laptop by basically having a Zoom call and watching us inside of VR and being able to walk them through a 3D model of something that they're building or whatnot. So those are some really cool things that, I love for agents or basically the feedback that I've gotten from agents in our team that love being part of our team. And then the legendary virtual side of things, we're just always constantly thinking bigger. That's, I think, probably the best thing about Legendary Virtual Studios is that what we're doing today is not what we're going to do 5 years from now. So we're right now thinking about what we are going to be about 5 years from now. And I already have in my mind also what we're going to probably be up to 10 years from now, even though you've got billionaires that can't tell you what we're going to be doing, 3 years from now type of thing. And they have a better sense of this. I am looking at the seeds that we have planted, the flowers that have started to sprout, and all that watering that's happening to them right now in order for them to grow to be the successful, healthy product that is going to change and dominate the world over the next 10 years. And that's really what we're doing at Legendary Virtual Studios, is really thinking about where we're going with that. And as we do that, we innovate products and solutions that we can implement right now. So yeah,
I love that. And just for our viewers and listeners out there, if you're just thinking about getting on social media, or you're just thinking about how to do video, or you're just thinking about getting on ads, you're way behind. Think 5 to 10, like exactly what we're hearing.
One word: think Metaverse. Metaverse is what people need to, if you're thinking like, man, I should probably get started on social media. No, you need to start reading about what the Metaverse is going to be, right? And so, do you know what the Metaverse is? Should I explain a little bit of that to the audience?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in essence, you got to think of things right now. The way people consume social media is flat, is 2D. Everything you do right now, including this conversation that me and you are having right now, it is a flat monitor with a flat picture and all of that. But imagine if all of a sudden, if we were in VR, then it wouldn't be a picture. It'd be an avatar of you right there, and it'd be another avatar of you. It'd be this virtual webcam that's kind of seeing us if this was like a real live show, right? In person. And that's in essence what the Metaverse is going to be like. I have a book that I'm writing right now, okay? And I'm going to get people excited because this is what's going to create, I'm going to use this as the, what's that word when somebody mails an invention to themselves in an envelope? It's like the old way of trademarking something, right? Yes. So that way you've got proof. So the fact that this is something public, I'm going to go ahead and use this as a way of trademark. But I've got a book that I'm currently writing that is called Roblox is the Next Facebook, ? or better, right? And what the premise of this is exactly what the metaverse is all about. It's right now, when I look at my kids, is how are they socializing? We know how we socialize on social media, right? We post, we take videos, we comment, all that fun jazz. When I look at my kids, this stuff didn't exist for them, not even for us. Our social media was MySpace, right? Was Zinger, was Facebook in its infancy, right? And we used to do what with MySpace? We used to be able to code and change our profile layout, right? Have your top 10 friends down here, which they always got in a fight with you because they're all like, why am I not your number one, right? So all these different things is what we experience as our social media, our upbringing. Our kids' social media is Roblox, is Fortnite. Fortnite is a game, but Roblox is an actual virtual world where they go socialize with their friends by having their little friend characters, and they go hang out and they go play together and go do these different things and build these different worlds together, kind of like Minecraft, but like on steroids. And what Roblox has already done, it's created a marketplace where people can upload their own stuff that they've created and all of that. What Roblox has done away with is there's no postings, there's no comments, there's no video, like whatever. No, it's straight up one-on-one engaging with your friends. The only post you're posting up is your away status of why you're not in the virtual world at that moment. And so what I see happening is that's the exact same version of what the future of social media is going to be like. It's not going to be social media. It's going to be social, like social worlds in essence. And what the metaverse basically is the way that we right now go to Instagram, we go to Facebook, we go to LinkedIn, and you go to all these different platforms, you go play video games, you've got different avatars for every single platform, right? What the metaverse does is you create one avatar for yourself, okay? And that one avatar will jump into every single one of these different worlds. So if all of a sudden you're in Roblox, you've got your character here. If now you're going to jump into Facebook Horizon, which Facebook Horizon is basically, Facebook figured this out, that Roblox would be is the dominating champion right now. We don't see it, but they're there. They have over 150 million active monthly users already. And so Facebook Horizon is the direct competition to what Roblox has already been doing for years. And Facebook is trying to launch Facebook Horizon as fast as possible to create this adoption. Problem with those two is we both can agree on this right now. Once you're an adult, you're kind of set in your ways. You've got your routines, you've got your habits, and you are comfortable with certainty. You don't like uncertainty. While kids, they thrive off of uncertainty. That's why they went into this whole new virtual world where they get to have fun, play with their friends, and interact and all of that. Who is going to have the least amount of resistance in adopting these types of new social norms or virtual environments, social media, metaverse, whatever? Facebook Horizon trying to convert all of these Facebook regular users, ourselves, to all of a sudden adopt this new way of doing social media, or Roblox, who's been training and programming these kids from youth, right, to grow up with this platform, right? And so that's where the big rat race is that no one is seeing, except for the ones who are really taking a step back and paying close watch to it. But that is ultimately what the metaverse is going to turn into, is no longer a social media flat context place, but an actual 3D, dimensional, interactive, walking around this total space and everything. And you're going to have one character, which is what's going to basically go from world to world. If you've seen the movie Ready Player One, that is the metaverse. They've got that one character that jumps into all these different portals and goes into all these different worlds. And that is literally happening as we speak right now in Facebook Horizon, Roblox, inside of Oculus, inside of Steam VR. And you've got all these other different platforms that are building the exact same thing. So that's what I'm really excited about. That's what we're, innovating at Legendary Virtual Studios, is how to better position ourselves to create something for this metaverse, because that's ultimately where we see the future decision makers. That's what they're going to be all about. Working in virtual reality. The way that we right now, to wrap this up, the way that we jump into Facebook right before we go into work, right? You know, we check our Facebook at lunchtime, we check our Facebook after we get off of work, we check our Facebook, or whatever your platform of choice is. We're going to be doing the exact same thing in the future. You're going to put on your headset, you're going to go hang out with your friends right before you go into the portal that's going to take you into working in virtual reality, your workspace. And then lunchtime, you're going to go hang out with your friends and go socialize and be like, what's going on? And you're going to be in this entire virtual world. Does it sound isolating? Does it sound kind of, it is, but once again, it makes no difference to us. The people that are being programmed for that, they're going to be okay with it. And that's our kids.
That's awesome. Yeah, whole nother subject matter that we definitely could deep dive for a different type of show or a different type of episode. But I know Dan has some questions to get into. And just to give context to what you said, it's already happening with EXP, and EXP is already exploding.
Correct. With Verbella.
Exactly. Yeah. Dan's an agent there, and I'm sure he already has his avatar. But Dan, I'll let you go ahead and take it away with your questions, man. Go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, for sure, man. And in terms of like how you help agents with increasing their business from a GCI standpoint, you know, real simplistic, what is like 1 to 2 minutes of like, this is how our services create more predictable business for our agents?
Okay, so as far as how do we increase basically business on it, to be completely honest, the biggest key thing for us, and I'm pretty sure you guys are going to agree with this, is retargeting. That's ultimately it, is retargeting. So when it comes to getting back to the marketing and advertising, what I like coaching and training agents on is really, I mean, I teach a lot of basic classes because it always seems that there's a lot of agents that just don't know the basics. But where the real money really is, as far as where the big golden nuggets are, is the retargeting aspect of it. And that's where I really try to tell agents in that, you know, you're not making one piece of content just for, you know, right now. You have to create multiple pieces in a storytelling fashion to where you've got one piece that you are blasting broadly, and you've got that one ad that is pixelated, right? Where you're now capturing all those people that engage and connect with your ad. And then you've got multiple other pieces that now retarget that same audience to keep you in front of them. And one of the biggest key things that we've noticed in success for real estate agents has been retargeting in general. So for example, you know, being able to simply do a couple of properties for sale, listings for sale type of ads as the basic generic ads to really blast out there. And then people clearly, that's something that if they're a buyer, seller, investor, they might be looking, oh, what's the price point in that market? Yada, yada, yada. I love doing carousel ads for that, you know, in different carousels, different price point listings for sale, doing that. And then from that, we get tons of engagement. And from that engagement, when we create those retargeting ads for those people that engage in those ads, the retargeting ads then now become brand awareness based ads for that agent, right? Because that's the biggest key thing. People don't care about you and don't need you until they need you. So if you're coming from a brand awareness point of view with no unique value proposition, that ad is never going to get any engagement because it's not something that they're interested in. But what are the consumers always interested in? Well, when you use first principles, it becomes, well, it's not that they were interested in you. They're interested in that listing. That's what they're interested in, right? You just happen to be the brand attached to that listing, right? So if that's the key, okay, cool. Well, let's just market a lot of listings on social media, Facebook ads of just listings for sale, how the market is doing. And that then gets people an idea of like, oh, wow, okay. That's how Sacramento's doing. Oh, that house is for sale for $350. Okay, cool. That one's for $450. Blah, 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 blah. Great. Comment, find more information. Now they're in your now that you're on your retargeting list. And then from that point on, boom. Retargeting, I think, is the not so secret sauce to scaling anything when you do proper retargeting. But I truly believe retargeting is the core of why Amazon, Walmart, Target, Best Buy, all these major companies that people right off the bat, like, oh, I know what stores he's talking about, is the reason why they're at the size that they are, is retargeting.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. We've been doing retargeting for a few years, and you know, we top of mind awareness, reach and frequency, getting those, just continually being building a better relationship online is what creates those opportunities when they need you. So you're exactly right with that.
Yeah.
And in terms of legendary virtual studios, like, how do you dominate your local market? There's a lot of competition for virtual tours, a lot of real estate photographers. Like, what are you guys doing differently that everyone else, should be aware of?
So 3 things: branding, quality, and consistency.
Okay.
So and to kind of break those down, it's branding, very important for one simple reason. When we first started the Legendary Virtual Studio service aspect of things, we realized something really quickly, that the market is extremely oversaturated with photographers of all walks of life. And so when it came to that, it's like, what are they doing? What are they advertising? What are they positioning themselves with that is making them unique? And the common denominator that we realized that was not happening was that no one was positioning themselves as a virtual tour expert, a specialist in utilizing this technology. Every photographer was, oh, hey, I can do your real estate photos. Oh, also, if you need, I've got the virtual tour as an add-on. Right? We flipped it. We flipped that entire script. We're virtual tour first, photography, and everything else that we know is going to become dated or basically not be part of the regular norm. We turn that into the add-on. So when you go to Legendary Virtual Studios, you are going to see that what we are fully focused on is virtual tours first, or 3D virtual tours first. So that was the biggest key thing. And then second was building a brand that was not tied to the photographers, but as a whole, as a company, as a studio, because that was the other aspect of it. Most photographers, it's a personal brand. And at the end of the day, they can only handle as much as they can handle themselves or what they've been able to build. And that was one of the other things that we noticed, is that most photographers don't know anything about actually building a business, yet alone a brand to go along with that business. And that's where my strength in doing those things really came into play, of like, how can we really truly set Legendary Virtual Studios apart from all of this? Was, well, let's find out what problems these current photographers are not solving. What are their pain points? And then more importantly, how do people remember them? And then that's where we realized that most people don't even remember them, or they've got them directly as a text message to that photographer. And then that's basically it. There's no bigger brand behind it. And then the last part was quality and consistency. Was, how can we make sure that no matter where we do services at, because the mind was, we're going to scale nationwide. That was the big goal. How are we going to create that consistency? Because one of the things that we notice is most photographers, they take their own photos and they do their own editing. Right. And so based on the end results of their editing, you've got a certain type of quality and end result. Well, I can't say that the same quality and end result is going to be the same for the photographer in Dallas, the photographer in Philly, and so on, so on. So when we started to look at that, we started to realize, like, okay, we don't have consistent same end results. So we developed our editing department. And that's when really everything just kind of clicked on from that point on. Was, how can we get these photographers to go out and do more turnover, and also get them to create consistent and quality. And that's where the editing team and departments came into play, to where now our photographers simply go focus. They go capture the shots in RAW. So the photos are in RAW mode, 7 to 9 photo bracketing shots. And then our editing team will then take care of all of that. No matter where the photographers are, now the standard's the same. They go capture, upload to our editing team, stack it together, consistent quality and consistency every single time, to where our turnover now is faster. Before, when we first started, we were at the mercy of whenever the photographer got done with the editing. Now we can do 24-hour turnarounds thanks to the editing team. Now that one photographer can handle going out to do 4 to 5 shots in one day, versus before he can only do 2, right? Because for those 2, he has to go home and spend another 4 or 5 hours just sitting in front of his computer editing. Now we've completely removed that from the equation. And thanks to that, we've been able to reduce our overhead cost. We've been able to reduce our overall pricing that we charge our customers, in order to introduce an extremely competitive price to all the different markets that we're going to. So we've had no objection, and we've had no problem finding talent in these different series that we're expanding to, and scaling in those areas. And at the end of the day, marketing is what's getting us that turnover. High quality advertising, marketing. More importantly, our retargeting campaigns, where we're going directly to brokers. We're introducing them these packages, letting them know about it. Once they visit our website, guess what? They're pixelized. Now they're going to start seeing our ads everywhere they go. And if they weren't turned on to us before, they are now. Whether they're using us right now or not, they know who we are. Right. So at some point that conversion will happen as long as we stay consistent with our retargeting and our quality marketing and advertising. And of course, the overall message of our unique value proposition of being just virtual tour first, because ultimately that's where the best conversion really comes from. You know, photos, a floor plan, a video, they give you a point of view. They don't give you the whole picture, while a virtual tour does, right? And that's the message that that's our branding efforts. That's the message, our brand message is, you know, a virtual experience that anyone can view and experience from anywhere in the world, right? And what seller doesn't want that, right? Like, more multiple offers, bring them, you know what I mean? The more people view my property, the more multiple offers, the more likely gonna get, which ultimately ends in what? Higher commissions. And that's good for the agents, right? And obviously the seller getting more money. And so, to answer your question, that's exactly how we've been doing it to scale legendary virtual studios throughout the United States.
Nice. And what price point, is it, what do these packages usually vary if somebody's listening in and they wanted to try you out on their next?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, for example, our virtual tours start at $150 for up to 2,000 square feet. So that's actually really good. When we compare it against Matterport or those type of services, they're charging $250 and up. You know what I mean? So we already know that we are extremely much cheaper than anyone that's using Matterport. Matterport's a great product, but it's a premium product that really is only designed now, my personal opinion, for, higher enterprise type of solutions. Because exactly. And even for luxury, we can do luxury and it will still look just as good as Matterport. It's just that extra stuff that you're paying for Matterport that you really don't utilize, which is like the 3D depth sensor data and all of that fun jazz. A real estate agent doesn't care about any of that, or neither does a buyer or seller or investor. Where that data comes into play is for other enterprise level type of stuff. If you're doing a virtual tour of a corporate building or a lease building, and you really need all those measurements and stuff. But needless to say, going back to our price point, for example, our essentials package, which is one of the most popular package, 3D virtual tour, up to a 2,000 square foot house with the 3D dollhouse view. That's one of the other key things. The 3D dollhouse view has become very important in the real estate industry. It really helps buyers, sellers, or investors view the property from a really great point of view, a dollhouse view. I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with the dollhouse, right? Mm-hmm. It gives people a sense of layout. Like, okay, cool. This is exactly how the property looks like if I was looking at it from above, right? So that sort of thing. And that package starts at $269. So we've got the 3D virtual tour with 3D dollhouse up to a 2,000 square foot house, 30 HDR photos. So basically 30 high resolution HDR photos plus a floor plan for $269. And then the next package after that is $369, and then the next package after that is $549. And what the additional add-ons to that is property photo, the photos being edited from data dusk, basically those twilight photo edited. And then the last package includes aerial and drone photography as well, if we have a drone pilot in that area. Some cities are very, very, very strict about drones. And all of that, whether you're flying only at 100 feet or whatnot. So can't offer aerial drone in every city, but so far we haven't had any issues whatsoever. But yeah, our packages don't go past 600.
What cities are you guys in? Are you guys in Eugene, Oregon?
Not yet, but we can be. So in essence, if the cities that we're currently in, basically all of Northern California, we've completely done. We are in Orange County, Los Angeles, all that entire area. We are in Dallas, San Antonio, Houston, Texas. We're in Philadelphia, Atlanta, Georgia. Right now we're recruiting in New York City. We're in Tucson. We're in Reno, Nevada. And that is currently it. We're currently in a bunch of other different cities too, but we're currently running demos there. So we don't really like to say that we're fully active there until we've actually ran a demo there for one client at least. And we currently have 5 different locations that we're currently running demos in. Our goal is to be in a new city every 2 weeks. So we are like gung-ho right now in regards to finding talent. Basically other photographers that are already there doing real estate photography, but they cannot do more business than what they can do themselves. Those are the individuals we're looking for. If they're already an established, if they're already an established photographer, like we've had those people that are like, oh, I want to join your program. Yeah, great, no problem. And then it's like, well, actually, no, I'm not going to make anything less than this. And plus, I don't want no one touching my photos because I do all my own editing. Well, hey, by all means, then go do your own thing, right? We've gotten quite a few of those with really big egos, and that's just not who we want to work with. We want to work with team players, people that need support and that we can support, and vice versa. They can help us by supporting our customers in those areas.
Nice. Right on. Well, I'm going to pass it over to Norm, but thanks for going through all that. I think people got a better understanding of your product, and you're doing something a little bit more unique. There's some bigger photography firms or real estate companies that, we've referred out to before in town and outside the place. But I always, when you're searching city by city by city by city, there's no consistency. So thanks for covering that.
Exactly. And that same point that you just said right now, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, but that exact same thing that you just said right now was one of the reasons why we expanded. When we started doing our services here in Sacramento, our stomping grounds, I had other clients that I have coached before, seeing what I was posting on my own social media feed, letting our agents know, hey, check this out. We've got this for you. That's how we started the whole expanding thing or scaling. Was my buddy from Dallas called me up and said, dude, I need that over here. Like, can you do that? And I'm like, I'm not in Dallas. I'm in Sacramento. It's like, well, do you know anyone out here that can do it? And next thing you know, I'm like, you know what? I'll find a photographer out there for you. And I did. And that photographer was like, I don't know anything about virtual tours, but I've been noticing people asking me for it. So all I did was like, are you down? I'll send you a 360 camera and let's try this out. And we did. And then once we tried that, and it worked, which goes to basically one of the self-development things that I try to teach people in mindset. The time is never going to be like, if you're waiting for the right time to do something, anything in life, the time is never like, there's never going to be the opportune time. The opportune time is when you actually take that first step, no matter what. And that's ultimately what we did. We weren't thinking about scaling yet. We wanted to fine tune things, but the opportunity presented itself and we took action, right? And that's ultimately why we've been able to do what we can do in Sacramento Homes and Lifestyle and in Legendary Virtual Studios and myself, my personal brand, Ulysses Baltazar, is by simply taking action. Mel Robbins, 5-second rule. It takes 5 seconds before your own mind starts to talk you out of whatever brilliant idea you have that is going to require some time and energy to put into it. But ultimately, it still requires you to take action. And that's what we've been able to do. And we're going to continue to do, because here's something I tell everybody at the end of every single one of my class that you guys are going to enjoy. Because if I don't do it, someone else will.
Yep. So true. So true. How many people out there are listening that said, hey, I had this great idea and this company's already doing it? Well, you should have took on that action. And
I just don't want that. I tell my wife that. I've told people I will regret. I know for a fact the type of person that I am, because I've seen this already in my lifetime, other different things that like, for example, when it came to DJing, there were certain things that I did not take advantage of that maybe I could have been the next Tiesto, right? The next Martin Garrix or whatever type of thing. And for those who know the EDM scene, but I didn't. And that was all my own limiting belief, right? And it wasn't until I got my head out of mic and I realized that it was all on my mindset, taking action and all that other fun jazz that I did. And thanks to that is why I got into real estate, why I did all that, and why I am today, right? So take action, folks. We all have great ideas, but you got to take action. Don't live with regret when you finally see that golden nugget you had, someone else bringing it to life. And I don't want to do that. I don't want that regret. I'm going to go after everything I know is possible that I can do. Even the impossible, it just takes time.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that. And they can look at our pioneers, right? Look at Andrew Ford, look at Think and Grow Rich, look at Andrew Carnegie and the individuals and the pioneers of who founded this great country and nation that we do live. And for the viewers and listeners to kind of dumb down what you did, you know, if there's a lot of relocation out of California and people are going to other locations, and just like you said, I'm not in that area, but I'll find a photographer that's going to fit the company culture that I can send a camera to, and that I could already expand into that market, because you can then offload the editing and you can go ahead and give them the customers, and then you can help them with retargeting and ads and this, and you can film a video with them, and the video could be them in that area, but looking and marketing your company. You know, just like for agents, if someone's moving into Scottsdale, Arizona, or someone's moving up to Boise, Idaho, or whatever else, and you have someone that wants to move in that area, perfect opportunity to call the local agent who's an expert in the area, build a relationship with them, and start the referral partnership, you know, revenue coming in as an agent. You know, that's a prime example. So I love that. I just wanted to give some context and shine some light for the viewers and listeners that can apply it, you know, right now in their own businesses with, you know, the relocation game. So as far as the questions that I have, I mean, you pretty much already answered them, because you are a firecracker, dude. You're like, literally, man. Geez, like I gotta say, you're probably one of the highest energy individuals we've had on the show. So I gotta say, it's definitely infectious. We are at the part of the show now where we want to open up the floor to you. So down below, we will put a link for basically A, your brokerage, and B, your legacy virtual studio. So that way they can go ahead and check you guys out, see what you have to offer. Sounds like Dan Gandy, our co-host here, is probably going to want to talk to you about getting something going in his local market as well. So another expansion opportunity there for you. But Ulysses, tell us, like, you know, what do you want our viewers and listeners to take from you as we end the show?
Well, the biggest key thing, and I think when we were kind of at the very beginning before we started recording, my purpose in life, folks, for those of you who are seeing, is I want to be able to have the effect on people that whenever we leave any conversation I ever have with them, is for them to be able to say, damn, Yuli made me think bigger. And that's ultimately what my big purpose in life is. So if I made you guys think bigger today, then I know I'm on the right track and I'm doing exactly what I love doing. I'm not here to sell anything or anything like that. I'm here to always constantly educate and drop value. If you focus on giving value, the world will value who you are, right? And so that's one of the biggest key things about me. So if you guys want to learn more about me, you guys want to connect with me, you guys want to mastermind, I love masterminding. I love throwing ideas out there. I think that's where some of the best creations tend to come from. You guys can connect with me at ulyssesbaltazar.com. Go check out my website. You can also text the word connect to 916-418-4100. You can also text me at that number anytime if you just want to chat with me. But if you text the word connect to 418-4100, you're going to be able to get a link, so that way you can add me to your contacts. That's the best thing that you can do, is just keep me in your pocket. And the day that you come across anything that are like, dang, you know, I got to speak with Ulysses. I've got a problem, a technological problem in real estate, in any of these areas, marketing, advertising, whether if it's augmented or virtual reality, I'd love to be able to support you in that space as well. So that's where you can learn more about that. And if you guys want to learn more about Legendary Virtual Studios, go check us out at legendaryvirtualstudios.com. You guys could see all of the services that we provide there, specifically for the real estate industry as well. And you can also text the word tour to 916-418-4100 and get a link to Legendary Virtual Studios as well. There we go.
Awesome. Fantastic. I love that. They say, what's that quote? People will forget what you did, but they'll never forget the way that you made them feel. And I definitely feel that you have that servant's mindset and servant's heart. Because at the end of the day, it's all about giving and supporting. Another good book too that ties into that is the 7 Triggers to Yes. And not having any hidden agenda behind the scenes. So Ulysses, thank you so much for being on Real Estate versus Technology today. I really do appreciate it. Dan, thanks so much for being on the show and being a co-host today. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, guys. Great to meet you, man.
Oh, nice. Likewise, dude. Likewise.
Of course. And thanks to all of our viewers and listeners, as it is our intention for you to take some from our episodes so you can apply to your business to have more massive success. And we will see you on the next one. It made it to the end. Well, thank you so much for watching Real Estate versus Technology. We hope you found value, especially something you can apply to your real estate business. If you could do us a favor, we would appreciate it. A thumbs up. If you subscribe, hit the notification bell, you'll be notified for new episodes coming out, and comment below. What the heck did you learn? If you want to join our Facebook group page, there's a link right here. And if you want to be featured on Real Estate vs. Technology, send us a DM on our Instagram page. We'll see if we can get you on the show. So, take care, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.